We have been reading News from Nowhere, which is written by William Morris, and kind of a man wakes up in London in the future, and it's a kind of socialist, utopian, very idealistic view of what society might be like. And you've been cutting that and exploring William Morris's indigo discharge process, and we kind of try to combine the two into a kind of formative reading of the text.
William Morris's theme is really important to me. I wrote an object book, and my studio is based at Merton Abbey Mills, where William Morris used to have his fabric works. So it's really interesting working with the book and the site itself to create the same experience.
Which we're going to try tonight. I walked upstream a little, watching the light mist curling up from the river, till the sun gave power to draw it all away. Saw the bleak speckling, the water under the willow boughs. The tiny flies they fed on were falling in myriads.
Indeed, I think, said he, smiling, that he looks upon himself as a part of the books, or the books as part of him. I don't know which. If ever you make a book out of this conversation, whence put this in a chapter by itself? I will, said.
As we went, I looked down on the water and couldn't help saying, but how did they manage the river in a day that you? Which is the nearest language talked on the other side of the water?
How clear the water is this morning. Is it, said he? I didn't notice it. Lived in, she was going to say, but correcting herself said, the river having lost its practical or commercial value, that is, being of no use to make money of.
The date shut my mouth, as if a key had been turned in a padlock fixed to my lips, and that, if I said much, I should be mixed up in a game of crossed questions and crooked answers.
Books, books, always books, grandfather. When will you understand that after all, it is the world we live in which interests us, the world of which we are a part, and which we can never love too much?
So he broke off short and said in a kind voice, he stopped and began to cool down. He looked at me thoughtfully, almost anxiously. In a looking glass it might be, said I to myself.
How you get people to work when there is no reward of labour, and especially how you get them to work strenuously. Oh, said I, somewhat startled. So the Civil War went on in spite of all that had happened. Why do you sigh, she said, kindly and somewhat anxiously. You seem to think that it will not last?
But tell me, how do you manage? And how have you come to the state of things? What kind of a government have you? Has republicanism finally triumphed? Or have you come to mere dictatorship? How could we have them, said he, since there is no rich class to breed enemies against the state by means of the injustice of the state? How about your relations with foreign nations?
I think I do understand, said I. But now, as it seems, you have reversed all this. I could not help taking abundant interest in the condition of the river and its banks, all the more as she never seemed weary of the changing picture.